I was in Russia at the time doing research for my doctoral dissertation. I since got a PhD. And I was in Moscow, in fact, in the National Archives almost every day. I did a telephone hookup. And by the way, we got to make something really clear here. You know, they say former Klan leader or whatever. This was 37 years ago in my life, okay? And
but true. I mean, well, admittedly, over a long time period, but true.
It's also true that Robert Byrd was in the Klan. But a lot of people were friends of Robert Byrd, right, in the Senate, Democrats and Republicans.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gimme 5. That is David Duke, the man, well, not at the center of the controversy necessarily, but, of course, Congressman Scalise, who supposedly spoke at a group that was run by David Duke, 14 years ago or whatever it was, 12 years ago, and it's all a bunch of nonsense. Welcome to Gimme 5. Shmakanish had Duke on, and Duke is going to make some of these points. The hypocrisy here. You got Robert Byrd was a KKK member. He was the majority leader of the Senate for how many years? What did Bill Clinton say in praise of him at his funeral in defense of him being a KKK member? Give me a break with this. This is such baloney. It's such a double standard. I mean, you want to go to Fulbright and the Senator Fulbright's background and Obama and Clinton calling him his hero? I mean, its list goes on and on. Speaking at Al Sharpton's National Action Network, all the politicians that run and bow to Al Sharpton, who many believe is the biggest racist on the face of the earth. Oh, 12 years ago he did this. Give me a break. Here's more from Duke.
It's really a biased situation because I denounce, first of all, I was never violent, but I denounced even then violence. I left it because I didn't want to be associated with that kind of taint. I've never supported white supremacism. You got to read about it in the paper. This wasn't a hate group. In fact, the European American Unity and Rights Organization was an organization in its charter dedicated to true civil rights and stopping discrimination against people. The best qualified people should be gauged, and that every people have the right to preserve their heritage, their freedom, and their values.
All right, so he's defending the group that Scalise supposedly spoke in front of, although Salon, was it Salon or Slate? I'm sorry, one of them over the weekend came out with a story that Scalise didn't even address that group. He addressed a group of community members on tax policy at that venue, but before that group actually took over. So who the heck knows? And who the heck cares? Well, the media cares. That's why we're even talking about it. So was Scalise there or not?
One person said that he was a no-show, that he was scheduled to come. Other person said that he was, said that he did come. I mean, I just don't know what the truth is. I think that it seems that Mr. Scalise thinks that he may have. That's why he's covering.
Why else would he say that he regrets
He's covering himself. But but we've got to go to a deeper aspect of this, and the fact that if any United States Congressman went to a group called La Raza Unida, and presidents have done that too, which is the United Race, which is an activist advocacy group for the interests of Mexican Americans and Latino Americans, if that was happened, nobody would have a blink of an eye.
And by the way, he says he has no problem with the group La Raza called, which means the race. What if a white group called themselves the race? Oh, but La Raza, that's fine. I'm no fan of David Duke, but he's making points. He's making sense. More.
The fact is, I believe that every people has a right to work for their interests, to preserve their heritage, in fact, I believe every people on earth have that right. I believe that every nation and every people has a right to be free and independent. Now, that's what I preach every day. You can hear it on my radio show. You can see it on my website, my books, my writings. But it goes beyond that. Of course, if he would have gone to an African-American advocacy group who's concerned about African-Americans, like the NAACP, Republicans, Democrats go to that, no problem. If he'd gone to a Jewish advocacy group, even advocacy for a foreign country, which is Israel, and the interests of the Jewish people, no problem. But he came to a European organization, big problem.
All right, folks. Well, obviously, David Duke is the big problem with his past, but at least he's also threatened to call out Republicans and Democrats who have come to him and met with him if they criticize Scalise. Your Newsmax Now update is next.